All right, guys, so I'm here with John Saunders. So in case any of you guys are watching and don't know who John is, he's the owner of Saunders Machine Works and also the YouTube channel NYC CNC. He's also got a podcast, The Business of Machining, with John Grimsmo, so you can check all that stuff out. But I'm just going to kind of kick it off here with John and let him talk about whatever he wants to talk about, maybe show off some of the machines and maybe some of the products that you make now.
Yeah, sure.
Because he's grown a lot in the 5 years since I was up here last. So.
It's funny because I'm used to filming other people, and now it's kind of cool to have it.
Yeah, and now we're gonna. He does a lot of really cool shop tours. He's got a lot of great videos on his channel. So now you're gonna be in front of the screen.
Awesome. No, I'm happy to, and it's awesome to have Adam up here. I got to know you through the machining world. I think we met up at Sands thing at the Bargy Bash, and
it's been kind of a we met through YouTube.
Yeah,
we connected through YouTube and doing videos, and we've gotten together a few times, and I mean, just kind of been friends ever since.
Yeah,
then, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, so then when Adam is actually honestly perfect timing. It's kind of one of those weird things where as crappy as COVID has been over the last few years, it forced us to kind of refigure out our training situation. Well, maybe we'll go over next door and show you the training classroom.
That'd be great.
But when Adam reached out and said, I think you called me like a year ago, and you're like, hey, I got to figure out CNC machining. Yeah. And fast forward a year, Adam just finished up 3 days of starting to learn fusion and CNC machining.
Yeah, that's right.
It's going to be a good journey.
It worked out perfectly. You starting up the class at the right time. I've got the new machines in the shop that I haven't even run yet. Yeah. And now we've kind of got a kickstart into some CNC training here. Yeah, so it's great, man.
Speaking of CNC though, can I show you guys Johnny 5?
Yes, so check this, guys.
So if you don't know the movie Short Circuit, which it's funny, it seems like it was a mid-1980s movie, so if you weren't born in that era, good chance you've never heard of it, but Johnny 5 is pretty awesome, and I didn't really realize it at the time, but if you actually rewatch that movie, the first scenes, the intro opening credits show really old school CNC machines running.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, and in fact the lathe that they're using is even making a bird's nest as they're trying to drill it. It's hilarious, like it's really bad machining.
That is awesome.
Anyway, I kind of didn't realize at the time, but I loved the movie. And then as I kind of rediscovered it, having now a 8-year-old son, William, I was like, this is super cool. And it's a long story, but we wanted to build one, and we ended up finding a group that had CAD drawings, and so we spent like a solid 2 years making some of the 3,000 to 4,000 parts you need, and then honestly we got kind of burned out on it, and then COVID happened, and I didn't know what was going to happen everywhere, and so we ended up hearing from people who said, hey, we want to help, we want to make parts, and the original point was for us to make it, not to ask everybody else to make it, but then we realized, wait a minute here, this is awesome, this is what it's all about. So we have literally had hundreds of people from all over the US and all over the world help make individual parts for it, including you, Adam. You made a part that I think is right behind us on the table.
That's right. We got a bunch of parts here. I'll show you mine. Yeah, the block there in the back. That's it. I got the stamp there on the side. So this was the part that they gave me and said, here you go, make this for Johnny 5. And we did that, made on the manual machines.
Yeah.
So a lot of parts from just a lot of different individuals and other machinists. Look, there's the head there. I didn't see that the other day. It's really cool because it really does. I've never seen one in person, but obviously it looks exactly like Johnny 5.
Well, and I'm kind of bummed that you're here right now because we've actually had him basically fully assembled. We took him back off because we are now trying to fix some of the parts that we don't like, including some of the parts that we 3D printed. Not that many, but some we did, and we realized, okay, these do need to be machined. In fact, I just replaced all of these kind of tie rod style neck mounts. They were printed, wasn't going to work, and they were, obviously one's right hand and one's left hand thread. So that was kind of a fun project to make those with a slitting saw. And then, from a project management standpoint, we've had interns work on this over the years, and I think it's really easy, especially as a small shop where this is kind of a side project. It's really easy to kind of fail at this. So I said, let's get it built, and then we can come back and tweak things. Because otherwise, you just lose energy if you're never seeing the whole thing done.
Yeah.
So just last week, we spent the money. Some of these parts are pretty expensive. We spent a couple $100 to get this linear motor. That's a really key part because the way the linkages are built, that one motor controls his whole torso up and down, which is kind of one of those signature moves that helps. People talked about the movie, what made Johnny Five such a cult film, at least for that era, and his movements in the eyelids are kind of what made people relate to this robot. Robots were a little bit more futuristic back then, so it's been really fun. I can't wait to have him done, if you will.
That's going to be exciting. And so this is going to be kind of like just maybe like a showpiece for Saunders Machine Works. Do you think this will be in a trade show at some point?
Look, I selfishly I built it because it's kind of like that. There's a quote in the mountain climbing community when people are like, "Why do you climb mountains?" And somebody's like, "Because they're there." Like I built the robot because I love robots and let's see if we can do it. But what I'd like to do is have it be something that local or area schools or groups can, if there's a way we can load them up and drive them over. Again, when I was in second grade, the Columbus Science Museum COSI brought a robot to my grade school. That moment blew me away. That's when I was like, I got to figure out how to get into something related to the trades. And when I look at a project like this, there's CAD, there's CAM, there's electronics, electromechanical design. There's so many different things that this project can involve. And so when for kids that are trying to figure out what kind of sparks an interest, I'm hoping that them being able to take a joystick or even like a telemetry suit and control the robot and see them interact with that could help light off a little spark in their excitement.
Exactly. Trigger some interest in the younger folks for engineering and manufacturing, electronics. This is great though, man. I feel honored that I finally get to see it in person.
Fun, right?
So it's very cool. Now is this supposed to be like, he had a toolbox, didn't he?
So J5, the movie, it's actually kind of ironic because it was in the Cold War. So he was called Saints, strategic armament, something nuclear threat. And the idea was we were at war with Russia. And so Johnny Fives were going to be able to carry nukes into like foreign territory. And he had this laser, shout out to Adam Savage over at Mythbusters who built the laser for us.
Okay.
And then when J5 was discovered and became this kind of like domesticated friend, they replaced the laser with the toolbox.
I remember that, yeah. It's such a great movie. You guys never seen it, you really need to check that out. I remember Input.
Yeah,
when he reads a book, he reads it in like 2 seconds. And so it's a great movie, and it's great to see the project. He's going to be alive at some point.
He's going to be alive.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool.
I like the idea of a trade show. We could build a crate for him and just, send him on freight somewhere. Like I love that. Kind of having him have a life of his own is what it's all about.
I think that you would probably gather a lot of interest in a trade show. You would get a lot of people wanting to see it.
Right. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, the point is definitely not to like build them and hide them in a corner museum here. Like get them out there and let them enjoy engaging with folks for sure.
Yeah. Cool.
Anyway, so we do.
This is the 3D printing area here for the shop, or what? Or
technically, this is our conference room, but it's been commandeered by both J5 and we've got a couple of different printers, which we use a ton. We've done a couple of different videos on 3D printing for machine shops, but little fixtures, jigs, alignment things, quality of life. I was a little bit late to the 3D printing game, and it really has been helpful for us. Awesome. So now that you're learning Fusion too, may have to get you into that world as well.
I want to have those same capabilities, so I want to kind of add some 3D printing to what it is. I know it's a great, it's like a little helper tool. I think with a lot.
Well, I'll tell you, if you're going to get comfortable going from Fusion, going from CAD to CAM to posting to setups and machining, 3D printing is way easier than that. So you'll have no problem picking that up.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Silver play button.
Yeah. So this is where we have all of our sort of finished goods and inventory. Used to be our training classroom, and it's been great to have a process. I'll tell you, I have a lot of respect for folks that have done a good job at figuring out workflows around shipping products. It's not easy, really not.
I admire that myself.
Yeah.
Good packaging and taking care of the product whenever it arrives.
When like shipping 1 or 2 orders a day is easy, but for us, you know, on days where we ship, you know, 10 times that amount, we've kind of learned that we're pretty good when everything's ready to go. So like this side right here is all, well, that's just, we've kind of rearranged this, but if we have stuff that's ready to ship so you can just pick it, like something's bought, you just walk up the shelf, that's the SKU. We have everything barcoded now, barcoded with a unique number. That's pretty easy, but man, when somebody orders something and if they order 10 things and 2 of them or 1 of them are out of stock, it's a lot more complicated about, hey, let's pre-pack what we can, set it aside, we'll wait for the work order to manufacture that product, and then when that's in, we merge the orders, then we ship it out, but then you've got to talk to the customer to manage expectations, because we try to ship stuff you know, at least the next business day, if not the same day on most of our orders. So it's been a good journey on that.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we'll get into it. You'll have to kind of give the audience here a little overview of, you know, like what it is you manufacture and kind of products that you guys make here.
Yeah, well, I'll show you. When I got started in my New York City apartment, I had a little tag and I saw somebody, actually it was a company called, I think it was A to Z CNC, the Colorado company. Unfortunately, I think they're out of business now. And they sold this little fixture plate, and I just thought, that made a ton of sense. I didn't know anything about machining back then, but I knew that having 2 or 3 T-slots didn't seem nearly as useful as having a grid layout and a reference edge and bar and all that. So I kind of laughed, because since then I have been using fixture plates. I never planned to make them, but we started wanting them for our different machines in different shapes and sizes, and kind of just fell into that business. So our primary business is manufacturing these fixture plates. We make them in different materials and sizes. Some of these get anodized, some of them are made out of like a 40, here's a 4140 steel version.
Great.
So this is like a semi-hardened 30 Rockwell.
Yeah.
You know, really nice product, if I may say so. We're really proud of these and the tolerances that we hold and so forth.
So you have a lot of like stock sized fixtures for specific machines, and then will you custom design one to fit a customer's machine?
Yep.
Okay.
What we've tried to do, and you can kind of see it over there, is we've tried to figure out, look, there's a lot of machines out there that we get orders for, you know, Haas machines, Doosan machines, Hercos, you just got a Miltronics, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So we know that there's folks out there that want those plates. So we've tried to do a pretty good job at inventorying, especially the black ones you see here are the anodized plates.
Okay.
It takes a while for us to batch up and send out stuff to get anodized. In fact, you can see right behind us, Chase is unloading a crate that we just got back. So we had these crates custom made.
Okay.
Because we were struggling with how we could send plates to and from anodizing and not have them get damaged, but also, man, we didn't want people to have to unbox stuff, rebox it up differently, worry about tools, missing stuff. So we built these crates that are totally toolless. So it locks down. It has these like latch style locks. And so nobody has to, they're just been perfect. Like
nobody has to get a hammer and pry bar out to get them out. Yeah.
Right, or take the lid off and set it somewhere else. You can go. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're good.
You're fine, man. Yeah, that's pretty great. So this is for anodizing.
Yeah, bingo.
Okay.
Because anodizing takes, you know, by the time we send it there, it gets into their order queue and comes back. It's like a month or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would guess about a quarter of our business is custom plates, either machines that we don't carry in inventory or truly just custom one-off stuff.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Got plenty of cardboard. This is obviously for your boxes, for your plates right here. There's the old school manual lathe right here, the MCO.
We still use it.
Yeah. I feel like the guy, especially like Patrick, they get a kick out of being able to come over here and use these manual machines when most of these guys are just, they're mainly on the CNC stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, no, we're a CNC shop, but like I will, and to be honest, we had a Bridgeport and we just weren't using it. Yeah. And so it went to a new home.
Okay.
But we will never ditch the manual lathe. It's definitely useful.
Awesome. I remember the Bridgeport. I believe you had it out here.
Yeah.
Like this is all changed. You had some fab going on out here last time I was here.
Yep.
So this is kind of turned into like, looks like shipping and receiving area.
Yeah.
Material storage.
that was the idea. It's kind of always a work in progress. Literally, we were able to expand into the building next door like a month ago, and so we're kind of overhauling this space to get stuff that we don't need as often over there. And obviously we're running training classes over there because this is a little bit cramped. We're trying to do a better job at how we store the material that we bring in so that when we need stuff, it can get moved over. But it's not easy. For example, if we hit like this is only 3 pieces left, so that probably has already been reordered, but then it's kind of that question of, well, when the next set of 20 come in, do you take the time to merge the 2 pallets, or do you leave them separate, or do you make sure you pick from the 3 and not the 20? It's like little growing pains, things like that.
And you have your metal supplier pre-cut these, right?
Yeah.
You don't cut these in-house.
We have a little saw, but no, our whole thing is when stuff comes, we make sure it arrives on a pallet that's pallet jack compatible and ready to go straight onto the CNC machine.
Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, we're kind of, I'd say we're kind of in the middle of changing this space up so that we can get some of the stuff next door. And I'd like to have this open a little bit more because we're using the forklift more and more to bring stuff in, move stuff around, all that.
Yeah. Well, and then you'll kind of have a little more free room maybe to get the forklift in and out of here to load and unload. Yep.
You're moving into your new shop right now, how are you figuring out layout?
Well, I've been very fortunate that it's been kind of a delayed process, really. It's been taking a little bit longer to get everything in there that I knew that was going to be coming. But once I started figuring out the machines that I knew that I wanted and maybe some of the ones that we're getting, I physically went out there in the shop in an open floor and taped it off.
Did you tape it all out?
I taped it off, I got the actual physical measurements, and taped it off and just figured, okay, this is about the flow that I want, I put a jib crane in there, so I knew that I wanted to have some of the machines, as many as I could around the jib crane so that we could use that to lift. So a bunch of them are going to be right there with the jib crane.
Nice.
And I think it's, for the space I have, it's right around 2,400 square foot, and it's going to be full. But I think it's going to work out good for me.
You're going to outgrow that so quick, dude.
Oh yeah, I think it's already outgrown.
Holy cow.
Because I still have some more equipment coming that I haven't talked about yet.
Oh really?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because I know you got the Miltronics mill and lathe.
Yeah.
You got the Flex, that's the big boy.
Yeah.
CNC.
Yeah.
Manual stuff.
That's it. That's the Flex.
Oh, sorry. Am I spoiling the surprise?
No, that's okay. I knew that I wanted to mention it at some point.
Okay.
And I was kind of waiting for the right opportunity. I think this is great because we're learning the CNC stuff now, but we do have a Flex CNC coming.
If you guys haven't seen what a Flex is, well, you tell them what it is. It's pretty cool.
It's a giant CNC machine. It's a gantry mill is what it is. So we're going to have a pretty good footprint whenever that machine comes. It'll be a 4-foot wide table, 20-foot long X. So 4x20. So that's why, a lot of people, they kind of know what's happening. They see the tape in there and they're like, oh, we know. I went up to Flex last year. It did some training. But it's just been kind of a long process of getting that worked out and getting the machine, getting it there. It should be happening very soon though.
That's cool.
So once that's in there, I'm going to be kind of stuffed full.
Yeah, that is going to be a big machine. 4x20.
So I mean, we should be able to take large work pieces, and put it in there and do some machining. But obviously, I got to learn the stuff first before I can jump over there and start doing customer parts on them. So we're going to have some fun learning how to use those.
Awesome.
All right, so back to you. Let's see what else you got, man. Obviously, we're going to come in here to the main part of the shop. All the machines are here.
So when you were up here for the last open house, probably, I think we had maybe 1 or 2 Haas machines.
Yep.
And we basically tried to buy 1 or 2 a year since then to handle the growth. And when we realized we needed to really get on our A game on machining our fixture plates, we ended up buying an identical pair of these Haas VF6s, and they've been great. So we tend to do op 1 on A, and then it gets moved over here for op 2 on B. And we use a combination of carts and pallets, and then these sky hooks. These are like semi-custom sky hooks. They took one of their stock models and modified it a couple different ways to give us the reach that we wanted, and we wanted the clearance to get into the center line of the table. And they've been great.
I got one of these, for the shop. I use it for moving chucks on and off the lathe, and it works really good. So I'm going to keep these in mind in case I need something closer to the machine as well, because I've got the one jib.
Yeah.
But those are pretty great. So you do op one here on a fixture, and then you come over here to finish it.
For most stuff, yeah. And that's mostly on the aluminum plates. And then our Okuma, this is less than a year old, is mostly focused on making our steel plates. In fact, it's probably running one right now.
What did you say? This one's used for what?
The steel fixture plates.
Oh, okay.
So the thing I really like about this machine is it kind of looks like any other vertical machining center from the outside, like it's just a sheet metal box, but this is like the best 3-axis vertical made out there. It's a dual column style. So instead of a C-frame machine like most milling machines, this has 2 columns up, and it gives it a super good thermal stability and kinematic loop. And regardless of where your y-axis is, you're not changing that pressure point or that tool pressure.
Yeah.
It's got a big plus dual contact spindle. I mean, the Okuma build quality is also top notch. So there's some things we're doing with this that we really wanted, kind of a spared no expense, and it's been good.
Yeah. Cool. You got to load it out, huh?
Yeah.
So this is going to be in a IMTS display.
Yeah, super cool. Okuma asked us if we build them a fixture system for one of their tombstones that they'll be displaying. And they're actually putting it on a horizontal that's one size bigger than the one that we have. And so we made this, we made an aluminum one for them as well as a steel one, just to kind of show off both options. And then we'll be showing how our Modvice system can work as a really good way of low profile, high density, a really economical way. You guys use it in class, and we should be able to see.
John was showing me this the other day when I first got it. It's so cool. Is it six tombstones?
Yeah, it holds 6 tombstones and has a 218 tool ATC matrix.
That is crazy.
So this was a huge step up for us, but I realized last year, like from the business side of things, for this to work, we've got to be able to make the products that we want kind of on demand. Yeah. And so what this lets us do is have all these different fixtures set up anytime we need them. We can run the products we need overnight during the day. Like, it's been awesome. So here we're using our own fixture plate and mod vices to make our mod vice. These are our dual station top jaws. So they get op one here, and then when they're done being op one, these 8 get unloaded and moved over to a custom fixture that does the backside.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's really cool, this is how I understand it, you can have this set up for one part, you got another tube set up for a completely different part, and it could just keep continuously run and make all those parts.
Well, like I'm tweaking one of the probing things on this right now, and I knew you were coming in, and I wasn't gonna have time to work on it, so I said, no big deal, and it's just running other parts now, which is awesome. Like, keep doing work.
Very cool, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So this is your newest machine though, right?
For sure.
I remember you were sharing some of that. That's a big boy right there.
Yeah. But it'll handle, hopefully it'll handle a lot of the growth needs that we have.
Yeah.
Even though it's a big machine, I mean, what it can do is impressive.
Okay.
This is a little drill tap machine. We make a lot of hobby fixture plates for like Shapeokos and other hobby CNC machines, and so we need a machine that's fast, that can help us make these quick enough to keep the price down. And honestly, we need to drill and tap a ton of holes. So this thing will drill and tap. They say at 5,000 RPMs. I'm not sure it ever gets to that speed, but it's rigid form tapping at 5,000 RPMs.
No kidding.
It's crazy.
That is super fast. Will it do a tap off anytime while we're standing here?
I have no idea.
It looks like it's drilling right now.
Yeah, so that's drilling.
Okay. I'll have to catch that before I go.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, there's the taps right there. So we'll see if that comes up when we work our way back around.
Okay.
But these things they're just fast.
Yeah.
I'm a mill guy, But I'll tell you, I'm actually excited to see what you can do once we get you up to speed on CNC turning. Those CNC lathes are awesome.
I'm really excited about that, knowing all the things that I've made over the years and how I think CNC lathes can help me with what I make.
So we're making our plug jack product. Pretty simple turning, OD turning, threading, so forth, but then we're using a combination of live milling to create the hex profile around it, and this thing just runs, it cranks these out.
That is cool. So do your turning, threading, and mill it, part it off.
Yeah, and there's the other mate product of that part. So we hold a pretty tight tolerance on this one particular dimension here. Otherwise, we deburr the threads. We do a Higby thread start so that there's no burr on the start of the thread. That's a left-hand ID. So it's a pretty fun little part.
It's threading the ID here?
I think it's actually left-hand tapping.
Okay.
I have to ask Grant.
Okay.
That's been one of the other fun things is like as a business owner, we've got a great team, but it's, we've got a great team that now it's weird to not know how stuff is done, you know?
Yeah.
It's good. But we use these egg crates when the parts come off so that if we do a QC, let's say we do a QC on every 10 for one particular feature, well, if we find that that's a problem, it makes it a lot easier to go backward to figure out what happened and when, and to count the parts. Here's another good example. We 3D printed little holders for our go, no-go gauges. We 3D printed holders for our Capto live tools, for our wrenches. We're not perfect at being organized, but this stuff really helps.
Seeing things like this gets me excited. It gives me ideas, things that I could implement for my own shop.
Yeah, absolutely. And it probably took 8 hours to print, but who cares? It's a $200-300 printer, and it goes overnight, and it's probably $3 of material. Like, it's cheap and easy.
You guys are busy. That machine just over there doing its thing. You're not even thinking about it.
No, not at all.
Almost like 3 parts.
But that's what you and I were talking about with...
Sorry, I had a little technical problem there with the camera.
So like I was saying, if your Milltronics mill has a table probe, it's real easy in Fusion to program tool break detects for your, especially things like small drills. So what we do on the lathe, the biggest thing is a classic parting insert. Those things last, a lot of times they'll last for hours in the cut, but when it fails, it tends to fail catastrophically.
Right.
And it can damage the blade. Grant, will you pull the do we have an extra parting blade example? Yeah, so this is our CNC parting blade, and we hold that thing out pretty far, unfortunately, because it's got to come in to clear the chucks. So it's not an ideal situation from a rigidity standpoint. So what we do is we program periodic tool break detects on the parting arm, and this thing has an arm in it that automatically comes out. And that way we can not sit here and babysit it, and if the tool breaks, it just stops.
Yeah, and you guys pointed that out in training class too. You can do that also with the CNC mills where you come down and do the tool setter to detect if it's broken.
Yeah, that's tapping.
Tapping?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's only running at 2,000 RPM, so sorry. We're not apparently going full speed.
That's still very impressive.
Well, it's crazy that it's reversing.
I know, you can't even see it reverse.
No,
it just looks like it's one solid motion.
Right.
That's sweet, man.
Right?
Very impressive. I believe this is about the size that I was running in the class, right? Yeah, BF2, this is the same one as in the class.
This one is their YT model, so it has 4 more inches of Y travel, but otherwise almost identical.
Okay.
And this is making our mod vice bases. All of this, though, will get moved over to the horizontal within a few weeks, probably.
Okay. Yeah. I see you got the fan in there. That's pretty cool. I saw that running yesterday. Had a fan so you can blow the chips and everything off the chips and coolant off of your workpieces and off of your table.
There might be a...
There it is. Oh, you can hear it big time. That is cool.
Yeah, the idea is that I'd rather, it takes a couple minutes to run, but I'd rather be able to walk up to a machine that's got parts that are already cleaned off and have to sit there and blow them off. And compressed air is really expensive. It's actually way cheaper to run a fan than it is to spend the money to run the cost of a compressor.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
You're not using the shop air supply.
Yeah, it adds up.
Yeah.
Another thing we really like is we 3D printed these little magnetic things. So this tells everybody that this machine is good to run as is and can keep getting run, whereas sometimes we do things like if we shut the coolant valve off, that way we know we've manually turned off a ball valve up here, which is a good way to roll in a bunch of parts and tools as you run the machine.
Very smart. It's the same thing as like when I've said if you crack a vise loose on the mill and you walk away, put a sign or write on the vise, not tram.
Yeah.
So, some helper tools to keep things from mishaps. Got a little Ellis saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ellis bandsaw.
That's
Cool.
great.
Yeah.
Another example of a 3D printed jig. I don't even know what this does, to be honest, other than it clearly has 3 points and a little Mitsutoyo indicator to do some QC check for us.
Cool.
You want to walk next door?
Yeah, you want to go check out the class?
Sure. Once we get you 3D printing, Adam, this is where it's at.
Oh, the shop model, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I'll tell you, this has been super helpful to sort of, just pick things up and rearrange them really quickly and get an idea of what fits where. The laser cut lines in the floor are the actual concrete expansion joints.
Yeah.
That way we can make sure to try to keep the machines, 8, 12 inches off the joints, but then still get an idea of what it's like to, get a forklift through, or, if you want to move a machine out, making sure you've got clearance left to get stuff in and out.
Yes, exactly. That's cool. I know that Abby would love this because she's already talked about she wants to do this kind of stuff.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, she wants to do this. So
awesome.
We're gonna have to get us a 3D printer fired up so we can play around with these models. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna walk over and check out the training class. All right, so we literally just walked next door into their new building where the training class is.
Yeah. So we had run our training classes for 4 years, and honestly they were great. But two things: number one, they were pretty disruptive to trying to run our Saunders Machine Works business, making products, and then when COVID happened, we had to shut them down. I actually didn't really want to, but the world got weird, and safety and health and travel policies with companies and so forth. So I didn't know what was going to happen. And then what I realized is our neighbor was selling his building, and at first I didn't really want to buy it and so forth. And then I kind of realized, wait a minute here, I'm going to be upset if somebody buys it because I think we're probably going to be at a point where we're going to want to grow into it. So it's kind of weird. It's like one of those things nobody tells you, that like sometimes you don't always get the choice to make decisions because it's like, hey, now's the time to buy it if you want to buy it. But then I realized, wait a minute here, if we've got a building next door, it's separate from our business, and we could actually set up a proper dedicated training classroom and training facility. So apologies, this is literally 3 weeks. We started renovating this room, ripping all this stuff out of the ceiling. The floors are getting epoxy coated next week. So we just finished the class. We got to take all these machines back out of here so that the floors can get coated, because they're kind of a mess from, it was a carpentry shop for years. And I honestly was kind of on the fence about doing the epoxy floors, but if you don't do them now, you'll never do them, because once you get equipment in here, it's really hard to.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people mention that as far as my new shop goes, but honestly, it's not my shop. I didn't want to invest in the floors. I've already got a lot invested in other things. I wasn't worried about floors. My future shop, my own final shop, will have proper floors.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're going to build a new shop, even like polished concrete that's sealed is probably fine. I don't want to be bringing folks in to have a world-class training experience and be looking at this.
It looks like a lot of stain.
Yeah.
I think they built cabinets, you said here? Like woodworking cabinets.
Well, I was actually laughing because I saw your post that CRC has some products, and I bought some, I don't think it was the CRC, trying to like do a like Home Depot etch to get these cleaned. It didn't touch it.
Yeah, I think you just got to clean it and then and then cover it up.
Yeah, they're going to grind it and get it done right.
There you go.
So
This is looking great though. I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, you're good.
This is their training area, the training machines here, all the Tormacs, and of course you've got your Haas VF2SS. This is the one that they had me on, me and Lance.
Yep. So we'll add another Haas for sure, and then what our goal is actually to start being able to train on CNC turning and 5-axis. So we're looking to picking up a UMC 500 and then a Haas lathe. We've got one of the little Tormach lathes, and it's like 15 years ago, 10 years ago, all I wanted was the chance to like go run a machine, and you know you can't just like knock on a machine shop door and ask to get taught.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoy the fact that we've been able to bring so many people through and get them up to speed and have the chance to run machines.
It's great. It's great. You've got room to grow here in this. Just like you said, you're going to add lathe and add another Haas.
Yeah.
So you obviously got more room over there to grow. That's great. It's nice seeing that you were able to take this and kind of separate it from the business part of it and have a separate business over here for the training class. And it's literally next door. You just walk next door.
Yeah.
That's great. Now these are all, I believe you told me this was not an original machine, or it was?
This actually is a funny story. This is my original New York Tormach.
This machine?
This exact one.
That is cool.
And we had sent it over to a local trade school because we'd bought a new one and wanted to let them use it. And they ended up wanting to trade it back for another Tormach that we had that would match, that they have all identical ones. So like 2 months ago, they'd said this, and I'd honestly forgotten about it, which one it was and all that. And so we show up to do the trade, and I'm like, oh, that's hilarious. I'm getting the original machine back. So
completely full circle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, but that machine, I mean, that's got a lot of memories. Made a lot of parts.
There's the other Tormachs.
Yeah, so apologies that they're a little messy right now. It looks like someone's dialing in a Heimer tip. I don't think you guys broke any tips though in class.
We didn't on the Haas. I didn't break. We were using the wrench yaw.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody crashed any tips or anything. I know that there were some e-stop moments in the class though.
But
there was a few. I don't know. Maybe they moved them, but nothing traumatic though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that's the thing I like about our classes. I mean, you're making your own code, you're posting your own code, and it's not that we want people to make mistakes, but the reality is when you go home and you're on your own, you're gonna either get frustrated or be not sure what to do. And so we want that to be as authentic as possible here.
Yeah.
I think you posted the wrong post once and you're like, I don't know what's going on, and you figure it out, and that's good. You know?
Yeah, that's right. And you know, the funny thing about that is that we come back out. I'm sorry, it was Patrick and Vince, I think, and they were posting the code to do the knife handle.
Yeah.
Right. And then when he brought it out here and stuck it in, the same exact thing was happening. And I was like, hey, I bet you didn't post it to the Haas.
That's awesome.
He's like, oh, I think you're right. So he goes in there and that's exactly what it was.
There you go.
There wasn't a machine posted to it somehow. So
yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
So so that was, you know, and I got that from you just like moments before that.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things, I don't know, the Haas is off right now, but I want to show you, I'd like to show you at least a couple things when you start posting to your Miltronics that we've modified, because I like showing the date and time at the very top of your G code. That shows you basically when or how recently you posted that code.
Yeah, and we used that. I remember, because we were looking for the timestamp there.
And that's a real easy thing to do.
Yeah, so. And that was very helpful there.
Yeah. We'll show the classroom?
Okay. Yeah, this is going to be the classroom area where you're going to sit down at the desk, at the laptop, and they're going to help train you.
Yeah.
And it looks good. I know John was telling us they came in here. You had William in here. You had the family. Everybody was helping out. They put some paint on the walls. It looks great, man. Yeah,
we ordered those canvas prints, and they look good. They're kind of a Band-Aid, because I was joking that the wall had a bunch of like cabinet decor stuff, so we just spot painted them to get the patches fixed, but I got to repaint all this stuff. But yeah, I mean, this is our first class. I was pretty happy with the layout. A couple of things we want to tweak, but coming along.
Yeah, it looks good. I really love these canvas. It gives me some ideas for myself.
Right?
Yep. So you guys, if you're interested in doing the training class, you got to come and check it out. This is where you'll be right here, and they'll help you get kick-started. We didn't really talk about these guys up inside here, but it looked like some small benchtop milling machines.
Yeah, so we used to have, again, all this stuff next door, and one of the other nice things about having this building is it's going to let us do videos and filming and not be, you heard the noise next door, like
all the machines are running.
Cranking, yeah.
Yeah, so it's putting out some noise over there.
Yeah, so this used to be their reception desk, and this is actually a poured concrete tabletop.
Oh, no kidding.
So I thought, well, hey, let's turn this into kind of the hobby CNC test bed. We do both videos, but then with Proven Cut, Vince does a lot of testing on trying to show. The funny thing is that it's actually a lot easier to run a machine like a Tormach or even a Haas because, frankly, the machines are so powerful and capable that you stick an end mill in there and it can just do what you want it to do. Mm-hmm. Getting the most out of these little machines can be a lot harder. They're a lot more temperamental and fussy about feed per tooth and surface footage and so forth.
Yeah.
I'll show you the fun side. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. So where are we going to?
This is the overflow / totally fun side of things right now. So we literally just took stuff over here to get out of the shop for now, which does feel really good, although it needs to get kind of organized and cleaned. That is Alex's salvage auction find. He stole this car because it had a salvage title because of a banged up door, and awesome for him. Got it in working condition. Had to do some fluids changes, but it's just parked here for now. But on a totally unrelated to anything work note, I've always wanted to have a 2-post lift, and this past winter, William and I kind of I don't say rebuilt, but we took a Porsche 944 that wasn't running, and we got it running.
Oh,
and that
cool.
was really rewarding. And I'm pretty new to car stuff. And 2-post lifts are frankly not expensive. And so now that we've got a space to have one, it's really fun. We put this in 2 weeks ago. But what's also fun is that this, we obviously just ripped the wall out, but this was that shop that we were in after I had to leave the farm shop on last minute notice. We were in this little, I think 1,000 square feet for, 6 months or a year.
I remember that. I was following at that time, and you were at your grandpa's farm shop, and you moved, and you were in this little space right here, literally. Yeah. So this was not here, this doorway?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. You were just right here in this little space.
Exactly. You can see the paint lines. We had to rip this out because we needed to get the forklift in to install the lift, and that's all gravel. So we were like, well, this has got to come out anyway. So
make you a doorway there. Yeah, that's cool, man. So that's going to be a nice feature to have. This is more for the fun stuff. Yeah. You're going to let the guys in the shop, if they need to use it, they come over and.
So the shop the shop rule so far is that anyone's welcome to use it on their own cars, but you can't use it on
don't bring a
friends and yeah, exactly. That's
okay.
But okay. Yeah.
That is cool. All right, so we've kind of seen everything. We've seen John's shop, the training class, and we've got some goodies right here to take home. So John machined a fixture plate for me for the Miltronics machine, so that was awesome. Thank you, dude. That is very cool. In addition to, I went ahead and purchased some of his mod vices and the jaw inserts to kind of get me started there with that. So
honestly, on a personal, I'm really excited to see you use it. I mean, I think a fixture plate just helps almost anybody using a machine, saving setup times. You don't have to tram in vices, just drop them in, they're good to go. But the work I've seen you do when it's big parts or castings or strange things, like being able to just put it on your machine and bolt it where you want it to, I think it'll be cool. Yeah, that's going to be very helpful, and it's going to be great getting used to learning, how to make use of this system and get used to it there. I was thinking maybe all you have a mill vise, and have a couple, maybe have 3 stations on there, something like that. So we're getting ready to load that up right there. And I think this is going to be kind of the end of our little shop tour here at Saunders Machine Works. So I had a fantastic week hanging out here with not only John, but all the guys in the shop. They were all great, helpful. I just wanted you to know that. I appreciate it. Big special thanks to Patrick for kind of being there next to me and helping coach me through whenever I was kind of getting lost. Vince would be showing things and I would be like, okay, I'm lost. Patrick would come over and sit down next to me to help me. So that was great.
can't wait to get home and start playing with the new Motronics, man.
Yeah, I want to see you in the camper on Fusion on your laptop, man.
Yes.
Just chilling out at a state park,
Yep.
modeling up parts.
We're going to do that. So, you know, most people know we like to travel a little bit, so I'm definitely going to be keeping my practice going while we're traveling. I'm going to make sure I'm going to send you a picture of that when it happens.
Okay, when you get frustrated, just call me. I'll help you out.
All right, I appreciate the help, man. I need a lifeline there because I'm gonna screw up here and there. But thanks for showing us around. Let me bring the camera in for the audience to show your business and what you do here.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Adam. Thanks for coming up.
All right, guys. We will see you later.
See you soon.